Hello and welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Judy Chavetta in for Phil Gallagher. Now to our top story. A Burlington native is bringing home the gold. Last night there was magic on the rink as the USA women's ice hockey team beat Canada to take home the gold medal in what many are calling an upset victory. The game was a hard-fought match that ended in an overtime shootout. The U.S. team scored first in the last period, but Canada came back and garnered a 2-1 lead by the end of the second. With mere minutes left in the game, the American women scored again, tying the game and sending the match to a series of shootouts, as each team time and again pulled even in the count. Finally, the U.S. women were able to pull ahead and secure a victory over our neighbors to the north. On that team was none other than Burlington native Callie Flanagan, who plays defense for the team. Flanagan has played 3 seasons for Boston College. In her freshman year, she scored 3 goals and made 6 assists in 39 games. During her sophomore year, she scored 24 points in 41 games, and as part of the team's defense, helped set a program record with 14 shutouts. Last year, her junior year, she notched 19 points in 39 games and earned Hockey East honorable mention accolades. Before the gold medal win, BNews reporter Tad Stefanik was speaking to aspiring women's hockey players from Burlington's first middle school girls hockey team, the Burlington Maulers, who are excited to see a local woman in the Olympics.
And do you guys know who Callie Flanagan is?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Who's Callie Flanagan?
She's from Burlington. She plays on the USA Olympic team, but she's also, she's a cousin of the D'Alessios.
Have you guys been tuning into the Olympics to watch Callie play?
Yeah.
Have you? Okay, good. And so how good is the Olympic team?
They're good. They're good.
Do you think they're gonna get it?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
We'll have a full story on the Burlington Maulers next week. Following the win, the U.S. women's team is being hailed by people across the nation, and Flanagan is being recognized locally. Congratulations to Burlington's Callie Flanagan on the amazing gold medal win for her and her U.S. women's hockey teammates, Burlington Public School tweeted after the victory. Congratulations to Burlington's Callie Flanagan and the U.S. women's Olympic hockey team, an amazing performance and a thrill to watch, Selectman Mike Runyon posted on Facebook. Flanagan herself took to Twitter the morning after the game, posting this picture and saying, quote, "So, I woke up this morning and realized this actually happened. Good thing I got my nails done." Congratulations to Callie and the entire USA women's hockey team. A longtime Burlington public servant has decided to move on to the next phase of his life. Burlington Treasurer-Collector Brian Curtin told BNews on Friday that he has announced his retirement to friends, family, and colleagues. He said that when his current term comes up for re-election in April 2019, he will not seek the seat. Curtin was first elected as tax collector in 1976, and in 1977, the town combined those duties with the treasurer position. So when he steps down next year, he will have been the tax collector for 42 years and treasurer for 43 years. Over his time in office, Curtin has seen and helped facilitate tremendous growth in town. When he started, the town budget was roughly $20 million per year. In fiscal year 2018, it is $135 million. With that growth, his office and responsibilities have grown as well, and the job has become much more complicated and demanding. Still, Curtin says he has loved coming to work every day. He maxed out his pension 5 years ago, but decided to stay on because he loved the job. However, now that he is nearly 68 years old, he says it is time to move on. He said he's looking forward to spending time with his family, visiting with his now 14-month-old grandson, and traveling with his wife. Looking back on his career, he says he is most proud of a couple of achievements. One is the town purchasing the Burlington Ice Palace, which allows them to keep the price of ice skating reasonable for the town's youth. Another is his longtime work with the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation, which has for the past 10 years given out more than $300,000 a year in scholarships to Burlington students. Finally, Curtin said he will miss his office staff, his colleagues in town hall, and the daily interactions he has with Burlington residents. There's been a lot of discussion about school safety in the wake of last week's deadly shooting in a Florida high school. BNews reporter Robert Paris spoke to the Burlington Police Department about the protocols, practices, and training they use to protect the town's students when they're in school. He has this report.
People around the United States are concerned with their children's well-being and safety after the mass shooting that occurred at the Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. The Burlington Police Department works with the Burlington school system to ensure that students and their teachers know how to stay safe and follow protocols in case of any incident like this one takes place.
So we work very closely with the schools on our safety protocol. We've actually proposed safety programs with them, and they have full conversations with us on what they think is best with the schools, and they consider us to be the experts as far as safety. So we have 2 school resource officers in the schools, full-time, we have 1 part-time, and we're in constant communication with them over any issues in town or also nationally, and any way that we can better our safety programs.
Burlington police have worked to have faster response times to the various schools.
I would say at the most a couple minutes. We kind of have our offices throughout the day nearby the schools. We have them closed for emergency response. Obviously that's not something that we can guarantee, but any calls at our schools, we would be there very quickly.
After the 1999 mass shooting at Columbine High School in Colorado, police protocols were changed to allow officers to quickly engage with a shooter or shooters.
Columbine was a unique situation that had never happened before. What the protocol was at that time was to go to a active shooter threat, be it a school or any other building, wait for specialized SWAT teams to show up. So the regular officers would kind of respond, secure the area, nobody in and out, and wait for SWAT. We found out in Columbine that worked horribly wrong, that people were being injured and killed while police were there trying to organize a special weapons and tactics response. So from that point on, worldwide as well, obviously nationally, law enforcement theories and methods changed, and now we've included initial officer response, so we don't wait for additional officers. Here in Burlington, we would respond with a 1-man response if that's the only person available, and other people would show up, or we respond with 2 or 3 officers. But the point is to get inside a building to stop and contain that threat, and even just by doing that, you're actually protecting anybody else in that building.
There is a new protocol that police departments encourage school systems should use, which is the Standard Response Protocol.
We have a program, it's called the Standard Response Protocol. It's from the I Love You Guys Foundation. We've researched that quite a bit, and we found out that we think in Burlington that's the best safety program for us to use. And that's got 4 methods that the teachers and staff are supposed to use in any type of a crisis that they have in the schools, and that's a lockdown, a lockout, shelter in place, and also evacuate. We like the Standard Response Protocol because that covers an all hazards type of threats. So no matter what, the teachers and staff can look at these posters we have and flyers throughout the building and know exactly what they're supposed to do. If they're part-timers, if they're in a different classroom, whatever, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. And between those 4 protocols, we think that that our students and staff would be the safest, and they'll be well prepared if anything happens.
The police department is always looking further to keep our schools safe.
We have a program, it's the Walk and Talk program, what is referred to in our day shift, where every day shift, our officers who are actually patrolling that sector get out at the schools, park their cars in front, walk in, speak with the staff, speak with the students. We do this for a number of reasons. First of all, we want anybody driving by to see a marked cruiser there at various times during the day. We also want our officers to go in, speak with the staff, become friendly with them, as well as the students. We also want our officers to learn the layouts of these buildings, so that if anything does happen, they know immediately what rooms and what parts of the building they should respond to.
Finally, if you see something, say something.
With all these threats going on throughout the country and these horrible shootings, obviously that has to do with firearms, that has to do with mental health. All we can do here in Burlington is do the best programs that we can have. The Burlington Police is very well prepared for something to happen. We're very well trained. We know we have to get there quickly. We know what we have to do inside the buildings. The Burlington School Department and their staff, they're very well trained as well. They know what we have to do. We have to keep communication open between the 2 of us, and we're always changing protocols. Whatever we need to do, if something new comes up, if we think we have to change, we sit down with them. We have meetings with them quite often. And like I say, the school resource officers are in there to get the latest intel, latest problems from them, and we can change our policies. All we have control of really is our response and our training to make sure that this does not happen in Burlington.
If you have any questions or concerns, please contact Detective Sergeant Tim McDonough at 781-505-4943 or send him an email at tmcdonough@bpd.org. From the Burlington Police Department, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
The deadline to turn in papers to be on the ballot for Burlington's 2018 town election has passed, so now we can see which races will be competitive. Overall, the number of seats being contested is very low. On the townwide level, only 2 races have competitive status: the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Library Trustees. There are also 3 town meeting precincts with more candidates than seats available. According to a notice from Town Clerk Amy Warfield's office, 4 people have pulled papers for the 2 open seats on the Board of Selectmen. Incumbents Mike Runyon, first elected in 2012, and Joe Morandi, first elected in 2015, have both pulled papers. One challenger is Virginia Mooney, a former member of the board and a current town meeting member. The other is Nick Priest, a 30-year Burlington resident and a senior copywriter at Cambridge Biomarketing. In the library trustees race, 3 newcomers have filed papers for 2 3-year seats up this year. They are Haral Gandhi, Kevin Sheehan, and Ram Voraganti. A 4th potential candidate, Jane Callow, had pulled papers, but according to the town clerk's office, had not returned them by the deadline. In town meeting, precincts 1, 3, and 4 have contested races. You can see all the open seats on our website at www.bcattv.org/bnews. The 2018 annual town election will be held on Saturday, April 7th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in the Burlington High School Gymnasium. Stay with BNews for upcoming election coverage throughout the months ahead, as we will update the information as new candidates enter the race. The Burlington Board of Health is poised to raise the age requirement on purchasing tobacco products to 21. BNews Director Rich Hosford went to find out more about the proposal and other possible changes in regulations and has this report.
Last week, the Board of Health held a lengthy discussion on tobacco, the way it's sold, and its impact on younger residents. They looked at traditional cigarettes as well as newer products like electronic cigarettes and flavored tobacco products, and discussed possible changes to town policy regarding those items.
So the Board of Health has always advocated for appropriate tobacco use. We have compliance visits that we've done on occasion, and we've actually shown that there are establishments that are selling to age under 18. And we've taken a pretty hard stance at making sure that our youth are protected by the regulations that we have. But there were thoughts that the regulations could be better.
One suggestion pushed by local advocate groups was to raise the age of tobacco sales to 21. This change has been adopted by numerous towns in the region and appealed to members of the board as a way to prevent younger people from getting hooked on tobacco, which by and large is being sold to them in the form of electronic cigarettes and sweetly flavored products.
The overall reality is that the use of tobacco products, cigarettes per se, are going down with our youth, but the tobacco industry is smart, and it is now bringing on products which are very appealing to kids. The e-cigarette products, the flavored products, and we kind of went into detail at our meeting regarding all of these products and how the use by kids of these have gone up significantly. I believe we talked about over 40% in youth. So the board was thinking that it really did need to act in advocating for youth, and we all thought that having a town be age over 21 for selling of tobacco products would be appropriate.
The issue at the meeting about voting on the proposed change right then and there was that the over 21 proposal was wrapped up in changes to regulations about who could sell what types of tobacco products. For instance, part of the language would have restricted the sale of flavored products to designated vaping shops, a change that would impact local gas stations.
The board wasn't quite ready to take the whole lump idea, age over 21, regulations, establishments that could sell, permitting of tobacco licenses, and come to a conclusion, a decision that day.
What the board did decide to do was set up a subcommittee to take a deeper look at the regulations and come up with something it felt was fair to all parties.
We are advocating as a Board of Health for our community, and our community obviously includes the kids, but it also includes business owners. We want to do what's fair to them as well. And we actually had business owners at our meeting who spoke up about how these laws could impact them when they're trying to do the right thing with regard to obeying the laws about selling to youth. So the board is looking at it from all sides to make some appropriate decisions and continue its fair advocacy for the town.
Finally, Dr. Saltzman said the board wants to make a well-balanced regulation that will protect younger residents from dangerous and addicting products.
Overall, we know that the younger you are, the more impulsive kids are, the young brains, the use of nicotine products leads towards ongoing use into adulthood. Contrary, adults that use these vaping products as part of a way to cut down on cigarettes are actually successful in weaning themselves off of cigarettes. So it's kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. In the end, the Board of Health is just trying to do the right thing to advocate for our youth and make sure that they remain healthy.
At the Board of Health, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
New research shows that Middlesex County has a higher than average number of opioid deaths. The Pew Charitable Trust recently conducted a study of the 44 counties in the country that have over 1 million people and calculated the number of overdose deaths in 2016 per 100,000 residents. Middlesex County, with 24.3 overdose deaths per 100,000 residents, ranked 9th overall in the country. The median number of overdose deaths in the 44 counties was 13. Middlesex County also leads Massachusetts in terms of overdose fatalities. According to a list put out by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health that counted the number of deaths from 2010 to 2016, Middlesex County had 2,578 incidents. Comparatively, Suffolk County, number 2 on the list, had 1,814 overdose deaths in that time frame. As the opioid epidemic has become increasingly more deadly and widespread, local officials and volunteers have attempted to help those suffering from addiction. In Burlington, police work with former addicts to create Burlington Overcoming Addiction, a support group for people addicted to opioids and their family members. The group meets from 7 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday at St. Mark's Episcopal Church, 10 St. Mark's Road. Earlier this month, Burlington Parks and Recreation Department held their second winter carnival. BNews reporter Chris Flaherty and Maddie Shipka were in attendance. Here's a look at some of the activities from this winter wonderland.
Earlier this month saw the return of Burlington Parks and Recreation's Winter Carnival. The carnival made its debut last year as a special event during the department's 50th anniversary celebration. I, along with BNews reporter Maddie Shipka, stopped by to check out all the activities this winter wonderland had to offer.
I'm here with Brendan Egan, Director of Parks and Recreation. Brendan, how are you today?
Doing great.
That's awesome to hear. So the Winter Carnival originally started as an event for the 50th anniversary celebration last year. What was behind the decision to bring it back?
It was just a popular event. It gave us that special event in February. We also moved our daddy-daughter dance to February, so now we have a couple. But it was just an opportunity to kind of get people out of their houses in the winter and kind of turned into an early spring weather type day today. Last year we had a couple inches of snow, lots of sledding. We had that beautiful ice sculpture. We had a bunch of shuffleboard and other games. We were able to skate on the ice down below. This year got a little warm last night, so it's more like a little wading pool down there.
One of the highlights of the Winter Carnival was the highly anticipated chili cook-off.
And I'm back with David, and he just won the chili cook-off. So how do you feel about winning?
It feels really good to win. It was a stiff competition. The other chili was really good. Just happy that we both had a chance to have people sample our food.
What's next in your chili cook-offing career?
Well, looking at the competitor, I'm going to kind of steal some of his ideas and maybe put a little corn and vegetable in mine and maybe look for other competitions to enter.
Parks and Recreation Director Brendan Egan explained what it takes to bring the Winter Carnival together.
Program staff started working on it before Christmas, started to put the pieces together. And then as we watch the weather, we're hoping for snow and cold so we can do those activities. But they jump right on finding other activities that don't necessarily involve snow and ice that people can participate in. Had a great little scavenger hunt going on, chili cook-off. I'd like to see more chili out there next year. Then they have snowman kits that they're giving out as prizes, have some giant Connect 4, some s'mores and hot chocolates donated, and it's just a good time.
And like the Winter Carnival, will there be more 50th anniversary events becoming a regular part of the Parks and Rec calendar?
Keep an eye on your summer brochure. We might see some in June, and Trucktober will be back. Yes, think we're going to do that again because that was a very good event.
That was a very good event. We had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, we did.
We have fun at all the Parks and Rec events.
Well, thank you. That's what we're about, making memories for families.
That's beautiful. Brendan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
With fellow reporter Maddie Shipka, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
One thing almost everyone can agree on is that chocolate is a great treat, but there's a lot of science behind what makes it appealing to us. That was the subject of a recent talk at the Burlington Public Library. BNews reporter John Villas was there and has this report.
Oh, chocolate. How can you not love chocolate? What is the secret indulgence? This past Thursday night, the Burlington Public Library invited Mike Cross to speak to the community about the chemistry behind this irresistible treat that everybody loves, such as the positive effects that it has on a person's brain, what causes a craving, the history behind the treat, how to really indulge your taste buds, and more unexpected yet interesting facts.
So I've always loved chocolate ever since I was a kid. I've always just adored chocolate. There's no candy that's better for me than a good chocolate bar. As I got older, I still love chocolate. I enjoyed sampling different types of chocolate, different countries' chocolate, and so it just seemed natural that once I started to look at the chemistry behind it and why people enjoy chocolate so much, that I really enjoy sharing that knowledge with other people.
Dr. Cross holds a PhD in organic chemistry from the University of Utah and is a chemistry instructor at Northern Essex Community College in Haverhill, Massachusetts. The professor also has quite the sweet tooth and enjoys sharing his love and fascination for chocolate and science with others, along with the belief that science can be fun.
My hope is that they at least get some education out of it, but maybe have a little fun as well. Try to make it entertaining and exciting, because I think that science really can be an exciting topic. But sometimes we get bogged down in the details, so I'm hoping that they're at least getting an overview of why chocolate really is such a wonderful food.
After the presentation, questions from the audience were answered, a discussion was led, and everyone got to indulge in a variety of chocolate samples.
Chocolate really is a pretty amazing compound. We really take it for granted, but obviously moderation in all things. So enjoy it, but eat responsibly.
As delicious as chocolate can be, like everything we humans consume, just don't eat too much. From the Burlington Public Library, I'm John Villas for BNews Weekly.
Now, I will admit, I do not follow this. By step 3, I'm going back for seconds. But
Anyone who tends to a grave marker in Burlington is being asked to clear out anything that is not related to the upcoming Easter holiday. The Burlington Department of Public Works reminds residents all holiday baskets, decorations, and potted or artificial flowers not planted at ground level in Pine Haven Cemetery and Chestnut Hill Cemetery, excluding Easter decorations, must be removed by Sunday, March 18th, the DPW said in a statement. BNews weatherman Peter Brown is out this week. Instead, we go now to Madison Shipka, who is on double duty with both the weather report and the community calendar. Take it away, Maddie.
Hello, I'm Maddie Shipka, filling in for BNews weatherman Peter Brown, who's out this week. We start our weather report with the almanac. According to the numbers, we're going to have an average temperature with a high in the low 40s. Historically, there's been spring-like temperatures during this time of the year in the past. However, the historic low for this day is -7 degrees in 1972. It must have been a great day for the Olympians when they were ice skating back in the Winter Olympics in Sapporo, Japan. One final note on the almanac is that the days are getting longer and longer. It's almost that time of the year where we will turn the clocks ahead. I can smell the summer air already. Now let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. I do have to say it seems like an average week with the temperatures in the upper 40s and changing to the mid-30s by the end of the week. Starting off this weekend, we will see a chance of rain on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with temperatures in the low to mid-40s. Monday looks like another day of rain for Burlington. Things look better on Tuesday with mostly sunny skies in the upper 30s. Finally, Wednesday and Thursday are good and bad. First the good, Wednesday sunny skies with temperatures in the mid-30s, and now the bad, Thursday. Another chance of rain with temperatures in the mid-30s. That's all for your weekly forecast. I'm Maddie Shipka saying, as Peter Brown always does, get out and enjoy the weather. Hello, I'm Maddie Shipka, and this is your community calendar. Come to the kitchen table and make some homemade pasta. On Tuesday, February 27th from 7 to 10 p.m. at Osteria Nino in 3rd Ave, there will be having a ravioli night. Come on by and learn how to make homemade raviolis from scratch. You'll learn from world-renowned chef Oscar Figuera. The event also includes an adult beverage, dessert, salad, and your homemade pasta. This event is 21 plus and costs $40 per person. For more information and to register, look for Osteria Nino on Facebook. Come meet and listen to a local radio host. On Thursday, March 1st at 7:30 p.m., the Burlington Historical Society will be having an author and WBZ radio personality and funny man, Mel Simmons, as part of their event called Irish Night. Mel has been on many radio shows such as The Golden Age of Radio, The Golden Age of Television, The Golden Days of Rock and Roll, and many more. He will be discussing topics such as St. Patrick's Day and Irish humor. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the show starts at 7:30 p.m. The event will be held in the Murray Kelly wing of the Human Services Building. There will also be raffles and refreshments. Everyone is welcome, and the event is free. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. On Friday, March 2nd, at 6:30 p.m., the Barnes & Noble in Burlington will be having an event celebrating Dr. Seuss's birthday. Come on by and enjoy Seuss's lovable stories. There will also be a Dr. Seuss-themed game and much more. Everyone is welcome, and the event is also free. For more information, visit barnesandnoble.com or call 781-273-3871. I'm Maddie Shipka, and this has been your Community Calendar.
The winter season is coming to an end, but many Red Devil teams are still in the running. We go now to BNews sports reporter Matt DiMarzio for the latest sports report.
Hey everyone, this is Matt DiMarzio here with your weekly sports report. At Burlington High, there's more exciting news on the ice. The boys hockey team recently won its annual Cahoon tournament and might officially punch a ticket back to the Division 1A Super 8 tournament in the process. The Red Devils finished the season with an overall record of 19-3 after a 5-2 win over Framingham on Thursday at the Ice Palace. On the basketball court, there is also good news. The boys basketball team beat Drake on Tuesday night to finish its season with a 12-8 record, and they'll continue their season next week in the state tournament. Burlington won a share of the Middlesex League's Freedom Division title this winter, the first boys title in basketball since 1991. The girls also had some exciting news. They beat Boston Latin in their final game of the season to qualify for the playoffs with a 10-10 record. The Burlington High track and field teams competed at the Division IV state meet last weekend in Boston. The Red Devil boys ended up second overall, behind only Northampton with 42 points. Senior Michael Pavo had a huge day for Burlington, qualifying for this weekend's all-state meet with a second-place performance in the 300-meter dash and a new school record time of 35 minutes and 82 seconds. Junior Rashid Prakash ran in both the mile and 2-mile and advanced to the all-state meet in both. Prakash was the state's Division IV champion in the mile in 4 minutes, 25 seconds, and 35 hundredths, and finished third in the 2-mile in 9 minutes, 49 seconds, and 22 hundredths. For the girls, junior Julia Havas had a great run in 1,000 meters, taking second in 3 minutes, 3 seconds, and 97 hundredths. And that's all for your weekly sports report. I am Matt DiMarzio, and back to you guys in the studio.
One place where there is always a lot happening is the Senior Center. We go now to Council on Aging Director Marge McDonald for the latest senior news.
Hello. We have been really busy at the center with a couple budget and newsletter deadlines and a whole bunch of construction meetings. I have been nose to the grindstone. But we are getting close to the point where we will be moving upstairs. It looks like we will be moving offices and activities from the first floor to the second floor and Grandview somewhere around March 23rd. I noticed this week it really looks like no one is working upstairs, and yet the banging tells me otherwise. As we get closer to the end of working upstairs, the work becomes more finished work and less people are needed or are useful. I will start to work on what we need to take upstairs with us over the next few days, and anything we don't need before June, we will leave locked up safely in the Murray Kelly wing. However, all personal items will be thrown away around March 10th, so if you have any personal items at the center, please make sure that you bring them home with you. It is important to note that the traffic patterns walking into the Senior Center will change. Sophia's class and Meals on Wheels will be over at Grandview. All of the rest of our regular activities will take place upstairs in the new spaces. Any special activities are subject to going over to Grandview if they are expected to have a large attendance of over 50 people, and Grandview is available. It is my understanding that there will be concrete poured before we move upstairs, finally giving us a walkway to the door with the elevator. If you prefer to take the stairs, you will come in the doors facing the roadway, what is now the front of the building. Unless you are taking a class in the recreation department, you will not be able to come in through the recreation doors and get to the Senior Center. The doors you use now to come into the Senior Center will be locked and unusable except in an emergency. We should be upstairs for about 3 months or maybe even a little less. It looks like both COA and Recreation will be able to keep most activities going through all of the chaos. I want to thank Rosemary and Joe Grobel, who have been running bingo for many years now. They retired this week from bingo and plan on just participating from now on. The problem we have now is we have no one to run it, and we don't have a place to put the bingo equipment upstairs. However, all is not lost, as Representative Ken Gordon, Selectman and firefighter Mike Runyon, and Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce have stepped up and will take turns running bingo. They will also be bringing in at least a couple more folks for other weeks, so there will be a rotation. We will restart bingo when we get back downstairs. In the meantime, we will provide coffee and goodies and have board and card games to play beginning March 1st from noon to 2:30 p.m. On Monday, February 26th, we are showing the classic movie A Farewell to Arms, written by Ernest Hemingway and starring Gary Cooper and Helen Hayes. Gary Cooper plays an American lieutenant who falls in love with a nurse during the Italian campaign of World War II. On Monday, March 5th, Denise Mercury, registered dietitian from Minuteman Senior Services, will be speaking about water and hydration. And on March 12th at noon, we will be celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Representative Ken Gordon and Senator Cindy Friedman are sponsoring our lunch, which will be provided by Shawsheen Tech. Afterwards, Roger Tinknell will be returning and entertaining us with songs of the Irish. If you don't like boiled dinners, you can still come to hear the music. We will have Life After Loss group meeting on Wednesday, February 28th at 2 p.m. And of course, the New Orleans Jazz Band will be at the center on Wednesday, March 7th at noon, and Monday, March 12th and 26th at 7 p.m. That's all for now. I'm Marge McDonald, and I hope to see you at the Senior Center. May you have warm words on a cold evening, a full moon on a dark night, and the road downhill all the way to your door.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week, we have a snowy scene at one of Burlington's wonderful parks. It was sent in by Amy Warfield and shows Rihanna's Park the morning after a recent snow. Amy said she liked the way the benches were lined up in the center of the court as a makeshift net that would allow some semblance of play before the snow fell. With any luck, we'll have more warm days and more opportunities to play tennis soon. Thanks for the photo, Amy. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Thanks for watching BNEWS Weekly. See you next week.